Ever scrolled through your feed, marveling at an AI-generated image or a perfectly crafted poem? It's pretty mind-blowing, right? But while we're all busy celebrating these digital party tricks, there's a much bigger, far more unsettling story unfolding. We're so captivated by the magic show, we're completely missing the ticking time bomb under millions of creative careers and, frankly, the soul of our culture. This isn't just about a shift anymore. The experts, they're sounding the alarm about a full-blown cliff edge. Welcome back to Mentor's Mindset. Let's get real about the job market. Just last year, thousands of bright-eyed graphic design graduates in the US stepped out into a world where something like Midjourney can whip up a slick logo for $5. Think about that. These talented folks aren't losing out to a more experienced human designer. They're losing to a server farm, a cold, calculating algorithm. And sure, the World Economic Forum keeps telling us we'll see a net gain of 12 million jobs by 2025. Sounds great, right? But dig into the fine print and it's a brutal reality check. Almost all these new roles demand advanced degrees, master's-level coding, or serious data science chops. This creates a massive skills gap, leaving entire cohorts of creative professionals wondering where they fit in. The jobs getting vaporized first. They're the entry-level creative gigs, the apprentice copywriter, the junior storyboard artist, the budding illustrator. When that bottom rung of the ladder just disappears, how exactly are you supposed to climb? For decades, we've been told robots would dig ditches, not write symphonies. We figured true creativity was our impenetrable fortress. Yet here we are. AI now scores advertisements that move products, drafts entire novels, and even wins prestigious art contests. The reason it can do all this is deceptively simple. To us, creativity feels like magic, a spark of divine inspiration. But to a powerful AI model, it's just incredibly sophisticated pattern matching at an unimaginable scale. Every chord progression, every vibrant color palette, every compelling plot, twist humanity has ever conceived and uploaded, that all became training fuel. The machine doesn't innovate in the human sense. It remixes humanity's collective output faster than we can even blink. And because it never needs sleep, never takes a coffee break, it can fundamentally underbid any living, breathing creator by a staggering 99%. That's a price point no human can compete with. We're all quick to jump on tools that promise to save us time. Relying on autocomplete for sentences or letting AI generate images for us might feel efficient, but it's actually trading away vital neural reps. A 5-year study across a dozen universities, for instance, found that students' divergent thinking scores, that's our ability to generate multiple creative solutions, plunged by a shocking 42% once AI writing aids became standard. Think of creativity like a muscle. If the machine does all the push-ups, your own muscle will absolutely atrophy. We're essentially outsourcing the very mental friction, the complex problem-solving, and the deep thinking that actually produces original thought. The real danger isn't just that AI gets smarter and smarter, it's that we, as humans, risk getting duller. What happens when one algorithm starts producing, say, 90% of Spotify's ambient playlists? We don't discover quirky fringe artists anymore. Instead, we end up marinating in a feedback loop, a bland echo chamber of what's already popular. Here's the kicker. Each new generation of AI is trained on the previous generation's output. This means our cultural gene pool, the very source of new ideas and diverse expressions, is shrinking at an alarming rate. The result? Sonic, visual, and textual beige. It's perfectly palatable, sure, but also perfectly forgettable. This homogenized culture isn't some harmless side effect. It actively erodes the local accents, the unique mythologies, and the beautiful weirdness that makes societies resilient and vibrant. We lose the unexpected, the truly new, and settle for the comfortably familiar. The legal landscape around AI is a minefield just waiting to explode. Thousands of authors, artists, and musicians have already filed lawsuits claiming their copyrighted work was used as unlicensed training data to build these billion-dollar models. Courts are still wrestling with whether transformative use, a legal concept meant to protect new original creation, actually covers AI systems that ingest and remix vast swaths of existing content. If the plaintiffs win these cases, the financial implications could be staggering. Firms could face retroactive damages that make even the notorious tobacco settlements look like pocket change. That kind of uncertainty hangs over every startup pitch deck like a guillotine. When that blade eventually falls, investment will dry up overnight, freezing the very sector that politicians are currently touting as the next big gold rush. The economic and moral rights of creators are very much at stake here, and the outcome will define the future of digital ownership. AI, for all its sophistication, can imitate style, but it can't taste risk. It doesn't know embarrassment or feel that burning itch to rebel against the status quo. A teenage guitarist still smashes an amp, not because it's efficient, but because it feels like the only honest reply to the world, a raw act of defiance. That isn't about productivity. It's about identity formation, about finding your voice. No prompt, no matter how clever, can reproduce the cultural tremor of a new subgenre born in a sweaty garage, fueled by passion and cheap beer. Our true superpower isn't just producing endless content. It's deciding which content is so vital, so meaningful, that it's worth dying on a hill for. That's the human edge. The pattern is depressingly clear. If your craft can be scraped and resold as a data set, your income will asymptotically approach zero. Take voice acting, for instance. The median human voice actor earns around $47 an hour for their nuanced performances. AI clones, on the other hand, can offer the same line read, often indistinguishable, for 99 cents. Translation, captioning, and dubbing. These were once vital gateways for bilingual workers, offering flexible and often well-paying opportunities. Now they're rapidly vanishing. Entire regions that built their economies on outsourced creative labor are watching contracts evaporate faster than coal towns lost mining leases. It's a stark reminder that the digital revolution isn't always fair, and those at the bottom of the creative food chain are often the first to feel the squeeze. Politicians, bless their hearts, just love the word reskill. It sounds proactive, doesn't it? The uncomfortable truth, though, is that a 45-year-old storyboard artist with 2 kids and a mortgage cannot realistically pivot to machine learning engineering in 18 months. Even if tuition were magically free, the cognitive switching cost, the sheer mental effort and time required, is brutal. It's a fantasy for most. Meanwhile, the very firms laying off these creatives are posting AI-tuned job ads that demand 5 years of prompt engineering experience, a role that literally did not exist 5 years ago. It's a cruel irony, creating an impossible bar for those desperately trying to adapt. Yes, an AI can brainstorm faster than a room full of hungover copywriters. Absolutely, but every hour you spend meticulously polishing prompts, trying to coax the machine to get it just right, is an hour you're not spending people watching in a subway car, soaking up life, or having a truly unexpected conversation. And those, my friends, are the raw materials of real original ideas. The danger here isn't just about efficiency. It's about mistaking acceleration for genuine augmentation. If the tool becomes the first author, if it sets the initial direction, humans inevitably slide into the role of mechanical Turks, tidying up machine-generated prose for minimum wage. We become the editors of an AI's first draft rather than the visionary creators. The global response to AI is, to put it mildly, a mess. The EU is pushing for stringent transparency clauses and ethical guidelines. The US, meanwhile, still largely treats the digital realm like the Wild West, a free-for-all. And then you have China, mandating that AI models reflect core socialist values. No one, absolutely no one, agrees on who truly owns style, voice, or even a person's digital likeness. Until international standards finally emerge, the default winner will always be whoever has the biggest server cluster and the thickest legal department. History has shown us time and again that regulatory silence invariably favors the brute force player, the one with the most capital and the fewest scruples. Ask any illustrator who spent a decade refining a unique style, pouring their soul into it, only to see it cloned overnight by a machine. The feeling isn't just competition, it's profound grief. Therapists are reporting rising cases of what they're calling generative despair, a deeply unsettling mix of identity theft and career vertigo. When your life's work, your very portfolio, becomes uncredited training data, the violation is deeply personal in a way that cold unemployment statistics can never truly capture. Society has barely begun to process the immense psychological toll this is taking on creative individuals worldwide. It's not all doom and gloom, though. There's a glimmer of hope, a potential path forward. Some bands now proudly tour on the promise of 100% human-made music. Physical books explicitly labeled "No AI Assistance" are starting to command premium prices. Audiences, it turns out, will pay for authenticity, but only if creators can clearly articulate why it matters. The business model of the future might just be smaller, weirder, and defiantly inefficient. Think more craft brewery than unicorn startup. Paradoxically, the more ubiquitous synthetic media becomes, the higher the market value of verifiably real human labor. It's about valuing the unique, the handcrafted, the genuinely personal connection. If you still earn a living from your imagination, listen up. Start documenting your process on video today. Timestamps, layered PSD files, handwritten notes, even messy sketches, anything that provides irrefutable proof of the human hand behind your work. That proof will be your passport, your essential credential, when clients inevitably begin demanding audits of authenticity. Get ahead of the curve. Walk into almost any modern workplace and you'll see it playing out in real time. Gen Z interns cheerfully hand their homework over to ChatGPT, barely batting an eye. Their millennial managers, meanwhile, are quietly panicking about competence erosion and a looming skills crisis. And then there are the boomers, many of whom never even uploaded a single photo online, now finding their lifelong journals and personal histories scanned into AI training sets without any consent whatsoever. You have three distinct age groups, three completely incompatible assumptions about ownership, privacy, and what constitutes genuine skill. The workplace is rapidly becoming a generational poker table where nobody agrees on the rules, but the stakes, they're everyone's livelihood. Here's a critical ethical question we need to confront. If we allow AI to be trained on orphaned works, content with unclear ownership or from forgotten artists, but strictly forbid it from touching Disney's vast catalogue, what are we effectively doing? We're privatizing culture. We're saying it's free to mine the commons, but paywalled for the powerful corporations. Fair use was originally meant to protect the transformer, the independent creator building something new, not the trillion-dollar conglomerate. If that delicate balance isn't restored, if we don't draw a clear ethical line, the next Shakespeare will never emerge because the raw clay of language, the very building blocks of creativity, will be trademarked, copyrighted, and locked away. And don't just sit there. First, lobby your professional association to add AI consent clauses to all standard contracts. This is crucial. Second, support the class action suits against AI companies. Even a $5 donation signals to judges and policymakers that voters actually care about these issues. Third, experiment with AI in private. understand its capabilities, but crucially, keep a parallel offline sketchbook or creative practice to retain your muscle memory and independent thought. Most importantly, talk to non-creatives. Explain to your friends, family and neighbors why a cheaper song or a faster image isn't a fair trade for a silenced human voice, for the very soul of our creative future. If you want to keep seeing stories about how tech truly affects paychecks, not just stock prices, then smash that subscribe button and drop a comment below. Which creative skill are you refusing to automate and why? Let's hear it. The robots aren't coming for your job, they are already here and they're billing by the hour. The fundamental question before us is whether we accept a world where creativity is reduced to a disposable commodity, or if we choose to fight for the messy, wasteful, glorious thing that makes us uniquely human. If we do nothing, if we simply stand by, the price of art will keep falling and falling until the only thing left unpaid and utterly devalued is the artists themselves.